Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Now before I start my presentation, I would like to say that this is just a gist of my presentation. This is a gist because of the time limit we have, so if you would like to watch my whole presentation and my whole documentary that are actually together, I will be leaving a link in the end. And I would also like to say that my project consists of the following distinctive components: researching about plants' consciousness, making a studio, recording of presentation, learning multimedia production such as video editing to color grading and the use of green screen. And the fourth thing is applying multimedia production to make the documentary. So I wanted to create a documentary about plants. Specifically, do plants have a consciousness? So the first thing I did was go on the internet and search for websites and videos on the plants' feelings and understand them. As I was reading and watching the videos and websites, I was actually jotting down notes. The next day I took all the notes I made and made sentences out of it. And now that I had my sentences, I now needed to convert them into paragraphs, and then with the paragraphs I had made, I then made the paragraphs into the documentary script. Here is the gist of my script. Knowing that I had my script ready, I now needed to learn how to video edit, so I went on YouTube and looked for a course about Adobe Premiere Pro. The video tutorial I took was around 5 hours long. This taught me things from video editing to color grading, and as I was watching the video I learned how to use any wall as a green screen, and then I also learned how to make a studio which was actually made in my room. Knowing that I had learned everything, there was one thing left to do, and that was to memorize my script. Now that I had memorized my script, I now needed to record myself presenting the documentary. Now that I had actually successfully recorded myself reading the script, I now needed to edit the footage and create the documentary. I will be showing the time-lapse of me editing a specific part of the documentary in the end. Now that you have actually seen a gist of what I did, I am now going to show you a gist of my documentary. I will be showing a gist because of the time limit we have, but I will be leaving a link in the end to give you access to my full documentary and presentation that I had alhamdulillah made. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. In today's presentation, I will explain to you if plants have a consciousness. If you look at plants in fast motion, you can see that they have a lot of lively movements. But are they really conscious? To the root brain. The concept behind this is that the tips of the root of the plant act as a brain for it. It accepts all type of information outside the stimuli. This tells the plant what to do. Over time, the concept led to the field of what we now call plant neurobiology, which drives scientists crazy. But that's because the field of inquiry has provided really crazy ideas about plants. For example, we know that plants have a lot of senses. These senses are analogous to human senses, just like tasting, hearing, and seeing, and etc. Like when a plant senses that on one of its leaves a caterpillar is actually feeding on it, it will release a type of substance, kind of like mustard oil, that will actually repel the caterpillar away. The cool thing is that when scientists just only played the audio of the caterpillar, the plant still released that same mustard type of oil that it released when it was really scared, which means that these plants have some sort of hearing ability, that they can actually hear the caterpillar, and that is exactly the reason why they actually produced that oil mustard. This chemical signaling thing appears across all of plants in nature. The smell of fresh cut grass is actually a danger signal for other grass that there is some danger afoot. Now, the reason scientists actually hate the word plant neurobiology is because plants actually lack neurons. Hence, this means that plants don't have neurobiology. You see, this clearly proves that this is no novel experience anymore. This clearly proves that there is actually some sort of consciousness, there is some sort of memory. Now the question is, Do you think that plants actually have a consciousness? Well, the jury's still out, but it's starting to look like so.